Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley talked about what an effing mess college sports has become. You know, Sir Charles, I'm going to text him and try to get him on the show this week. But I got to tell you, Sir Charles ain't wrong. In fact, Sir Charles is right. One of the things I like about Sir Charles is all the white dudes, Billis and all these white dudes are afraid to take him on. It's one of my favorite things. You know, other white dudes can say anything, and these guys, Doyle, Billis, all these guys will be all over him. But Charles Barkley says it, man, they're afraid because they know, number one, Charles has a bigger following than them, and number two, he just don't care. He don't care. But Charles Barkley's saying that college sports is a complete effing mess. He ain't wrong. College sports is a complete effing mess. And I thought yesterday, I think it was yesterday, Charles Barkley was talking to Rory McIlroy in the middle of the round. And he's like, hey, Rory, you got a bad back from throwing your daughter in the pool. Man, Barkley wasn't having none of it. And I love it. I do. I love it. How's your back? It's okay. You gotta get your speed up on one of these drives today. I think you're lying. See? But I can hit the ball up in the air. I got to keep it low. Barkley's not messing around. Barkley's saying, hey, that's the way it is. I love it when people tell the truth. I love it when people are unafraid. Hey, we got drama in college football. You know, I really liked Herm Edwards when he came on my radio show. In fact, I said, hey, Herm Edwards is awesome. I think that's a tweet for me. Some people have been bringing it up. Of course I put that out. Yeah. And then I saw him around ESPN. And then he's a mouth. Oh, you basketball guy. You know, always this crap. And I always go to this. Would I want to play for that guy? Would I want to play for him? Gene Cady came to my house. I would want to play for him. Bob Knight came to my house. I wanted to play for him. Norm Slow, national champion, coach, North Carolina State. He was at Florida, came to my house to recruit me. I didn't want to play for him. I'm like, yeah, that dude's full of crap. I'm going to go down there and play with a bunch of idiots. Well, I played against him, had 23 and 10, and I had to play against Vernon Maxwell, Mad Max, who was completely insane. So I always go to who would I want to play for. Well, I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at Herm Edwards. Not a chance. And then he gets hired at Arizona State, and Herm Edwards is going to save the world at Arizona State. They were going to use a professional model. Only problem was Herm Edwards couldn't coach blind turkeys to take a dump. He could. He was awful. He was Herm Edwards. He wasn't a grinder. I'll get the grinders in a minute. Team stunk. Long story short, while they were stinking, they were cheating. Yeah, that's right. They were cheating. Impermissible benefits, showing up at times when you weren't allowed to, recruiting, having practices during COVID, all the crap that insecure jackasses do. So here's what happened, and you won't hear this anywhere else. At least you won't hear this from ESPN. So here's what happened. So Herm Edwards says, all right, well, I'm fired. They lose to Eastern Michigan. He's fired on the field as he's walking off. Good for the AD. Bad for the AD that hired him. Good for the AD that fired him. Fast forward. Cheating. Cheating like a crazy person. Still bad, but cheating. So Edwards then, I'm gone. My bullshit will play at ESPN. Yeah, I'll just go back there and talk about integrity and character like it never happened. And none of Mr. White folks and the other African Americans and the women at ESPN have the stones to say, wait a second, what are we doing here? This guy just cheated his brains out. Just cheated his brains out and was horse bleep at it. Because he lost, he got caught. That's the epitome of being horse shit at cheating. If you're going to cheat, win. Win big. You'll always get another job. If you're going to rob a bank, like I tell my kids, don't do it for $10. Do it for millions. Don't mess around with $10. Are you nuts? So Edwards now is back. And oh, by the way, on the Monday Countdown Show, what do these three guys have in common? Booger McFarland, Herm Edwards, and Michael Eaves. You may not know who Michael Eaves is. First, they're all African American, but that's not it. Second, they're horrible. They're horrible on TV. Edwards actually isn't bad on TV, and I like Booger as a human being. Eves is a self-promoter. Eves is the only reason that Michael Eves has these jobs is diversity. In terms of is he any good, he's horrible. He's awful. I treat people based on the content and their character and the job they do, not the color of their skin, period. Anyway, what hypocrisy. You won't see none of this from anybody at ESPN. Where is Heather Dinich? Where is Laura Rutledge? Hey, Sirius XM Radio, Nicole Arbaugh, Pete Thamel. Where are you guys that are these insiders in college football? Yeah, you're hiding. I can't criticize him. He's African American. We love her. Yeah, we love her. Hi, I'm Nicole. I love her. Yeah, all right. Good for you. You guys suck. You guys have no stones. The news of the weekend in college football was not Notre Dame. It was not Navy. It was anything but Arizona State. Arizona State, a place where nobody's cared about football ever. They hired Herm Edwards. He of all energy. Oh, yeah, go fight, win, Herm. And everybody said, oh, he's an inspiration. Laura Rutledge and Heather Dinich and all the little girls and boys at ESPN, he's an inspiration. And Herm Edwards was going to the desert. He and the AD were going to build something special. Well, it didn't work out. They stunk. They lost to Eastern Michigan, and the new AD, fired him as he was walking off the field. Well, Herm Edwards, ladies and gentlemen, also cheated. He cheated to the point where his own school said, hey, I know you players are here, but we don't care. 20 of them are left over from Herm Edwards. Because this guy was such a cheat and a bad one, bad because he got caught, number one. If you're a good cheat, you don't get caught. And bad because, number two, well, frankly, your team had a losing record. Your team stunk. So if you're going to cheat, I've always said this, if you're going to cheat, go big. If you're going to cheat, win big. If you're going to cheat or rob a bank, rob it for $1 bazillion. But Herm Edwards can talk. And he's all enthusiastic. And he looks you in the eye. And he's got Hermisms. He's known for his motivational speeches and sound bites given at press conference. Yeah, okay. Herm Edwards went 26-20. That's it. Now you got to understand, you play crap teams for half the season. So he goes 26-20, 17-14 in the league, and they fire him because he stunk, because he was cheating. So you got a bowl ban, an NCAA investigation. But what happens to Herm? Well, ESPN says, come on back, Herm. Come on back. We got to have you back, Herm. And tell us about integrity, Herm. Talk to us about character. Give us those great motivational bullshit speeches that you give us, Herm. Let us know. Laura Rutledge, Molly McGrath, Pete Thamel, Michael Eves, Booger McFarland, all you guys, tell us how inspirational this cheat is. Let us know how this cheat, this man who couldn't coach wild turkeys and take a dump and cheated, is inspirational. I gotta be her. I gotta talk like this. You play to win the game. Does that make me an icon? You're a fraud, Herm. And just another example of ESPN pandering, of ESPN being ridiculous. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The Monday Countdown Show now has Booger McFarland, who's been awful. I mean, he was given the best job at ESPN, lasted a year. Herm Edwards, who was a cheat and a bad coach. And Michael Eves, who said Sage Steele isn't black enough. Boom. That's their Monday Night Countdown. And we'll all I won't tune in, but you all will tune in because, well, you know. It's Monday Night Football. We'll watch two dogs play if it says Monday Night Football.